You got bigger bodyguards over there.
Yeah, we did have some big ones. Thanks, Mark, and I really appreciate all that you all are doing for me to help me in my governor's race. And it's been only 2.5 years since you did help me get to Tallahassee, because that's when I first was introduced to the Paphian Association of Public Adjusters, and became familiar with the work you do and the important work you do to help Floridians deal with their insurance claims. And you've heard me say over and over and over again that I understand what important place you have in the whole scheme of the world of insurance. What would we do without public adjusters? Where would people go when they had no other place to turn? And I know that we have been in discussions many times about the professionalism of your organization and the way that I respect you, who are members of FAFIA, assuring that your members and all the people who are public adjusters in the state are operating in a very responsible way. And that the work continues.
It does.
And because we see firsthand in my department how some people kind of go off the track, and you all have been very good at working with us and understanding how to effectively monitor and regulate the work of public adjusters. And so I will commit to you, as I have as your CFO, that you will always have an open door to my office, that I will always be fair-minded. The reason that I'm running for governor is because I have 25 years of business experience, and I understand what it's like to run a business. In fact, I was reminded of, where's my North Carolina person here? There you are. We grew up within 30 miles of each other back in North Carolina. I grew up on a family farm. And from the time I was about 11 or 12 years old, I had just learned to write in cursive. And so every month my dad would have me sit at his desk with him, and we would pay the family farm bills. And I would get to write the checks. The feed check, or the fertilizer check, or the gas bill, all the checks that it takes to run a farm, which is actually a small business. Just like you run your own small businesses. And being a good parent, you manipulated me. At the end of the check writing period, that I had to add up, put all the check amounts in a column and add them up. That's before the days of calculators. And determine whether or not we had enough money in the bank to cover the checks. Because back then there were things like overdraft lines or lines of credit, and we had to be sure that we could cover the checks. And out of that, I think I did get my love of numbers, but also my love of business. And I understood the struggles, because some years on the farm were a lot better than other years. And you just had to learn how to be creative and entrepreneurial. And if cattle wasn't profitable, then the next year we were growing hogs. And if the soybean crop wasn't profitable, then the next year we'd try corn. And you know, that's a little bit about what Florida's all about. Florida's not a state of huge, large corporations like the big three automakers. Florida has been built on the backs of small business people who have come here, or their parents or their grandparents came here to make a good living for themselves and their families, and also for all of the other people that they employ in their small businesses. We have that entrepreneurial spirit. And right now, times have been really tough for Florida. So I describe where we are now as we've built our state kind of on a sandy foundation. It's on the foundation of just relying on tourists and visitors and retirees. You know, for the first time in 60 years, Florida actually lost population last year. So something different is happening. And that means that just like we as small business entrepreneurs always have to do, we have to step back and say, oops, something's different here, we've got to reinvent ourselves and figure out how to get our state on a stronger economic foundation. And that's going to mean diversity of jobs, better paying jobs, and creating the kind of business environment that helps businesses retain and grow the jobs they have and attracts new businesses coming in. And there's no better example of that than right here in Orlando with Medical City. That project out there, kind of in the middle of nowhere, that within a few years is going to have tens of thousands of employees working there. Whether it's the UF Research Center or the UCF Medical School or the big, huge VA hospital or the Nemours Children's Hospital, that's going to become a jewel in the crown of Central Florida. And those of you who are from other parts of the state, we could sit here all night long and talk about wonderful, fantastic things that are happening in your economy. And that's why I want to be your governor. Because I'm going to take that business-like approach into the governor's office and talk to Floridians about being a new kind of sunshine state. You know, we've always been known as the sunshine state because this is the place you go to the beach and you retire so you can play golf all year round. And that's a good thing. We have to build on that. But you know, maybe we could be the sunshine state also because we're the #1 state to capture solar energy and to build solar panels and photovoltaic units and do research and do all sorts of biomedical research. So your support here for my efforts is critically important because I can't do this journey alone. It's a long one, and we've had to start early because the amount of money that you have to raise in a state like Florida is enormous. Probably about $30 million.
Oh my God.
Isn't that a stunning number? So those checks that you brought today or that you got from your friends and people you work with, whether they're $25 or $250 or $500, are just critically important because we're building a team here. We're building a team for the 21st century. And we can't build this strong economic foundation unless we have a good education system. We have to have, our little children have got to be able to go to school prepared to learn, and they have to finish school with the skills that they need, that they can be assured of, give them an opportunity to have a successful job and a good income so that they can raise their own families. And at the same time, government needs to be run more efficiently. You're sending a lot of taxpayer dollars to Tallahassee. A lot. And trust me, I've seen in the 2.5 years I've been there, there's still plenty of ways to save more money, save more of your taxpayer dollars by taking a more business-like approach to the way we run state government. And that's the kind of background and experience that I'm going to bring to the office of the governor. So, Mark, again, thank you and all the board members for hanging around here this afternoon. Those of you who are driving back home tonight, drive carefully. If you're staying over, enjoy the rest of the evening. And I really do appreciate your support, and I appreciate Ken. And thanks to Ken Plant for helping make this happen. And I look forward to continuing the dialogue, the open door policy, and we know we still have work to do, and we will listen to you and your professional association with open ears and an open mind. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Don't charge it down.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.